Alright, so this is a simple Chrome extension that I just created using Gemini AI, and what it does is it automatically refreshes this page after this amount of time. Now, obviously, this is just a basic Chrome extension, but there are many use cases or applications that you can build in the form of a Chrome extension. For example, you can build an extension that can track the price of a product on a marketplace, or perhaps an extension that can summarize content with just one click, or maybe an extension that you can use to automatically calculate the reading time of an article. There are so many possibilities. It depends on your imagination or maybe your use cases. So in this video, I'm going to show you the easiest way you can build a Chrome extension using only Gemini AI. And again, we are only using Gemini. I'm not going to be using a coding tool because we can actually use Gemini to create the code. And then later, I'm going to show you how you can import or install the extension into your Chrome browser. So without further ado, let me show you how you can do it. First, obviously, you have to open Google Chrome on your computer, and then you can navigate to Gemini AI. This is the address, and you can log in to your account. Now, after that, you can describe the extension that you want AI to generate. You can be as descriptive as possible, and ideally, you want to be very detailed about the purpose, vision, or maybe features of the extension. But for this example, I have this simple prompt that I'm going to use to create a Chrome extension. There is actually another instruction that I'll show you later, but let me try this one. So basically, I want Gemini to create a Chrome extension that let me select text, and then I can hear the audio version of that text. So basically, it is utilizing the built-in text-to-speech tool in the Google Chrome browser. But we're not done yet, because after that, you might want to insert this extra instruction. And by the way, this is available in the description down below. You can copy it. So basically, what this instruction does is it's going to kind of guide Gemini about what you need to do when creating the code or files for this Chrome extension. Now, after you're done with the prompting, you can click Tools and then enable a feature called Canvas. And then I do recommend to select the Pro variant because it is just much better at coding compared to the other variations. After that, click Submit and just wait for maybe about 2 minutes or maybe 3 minutes depending on the complexity of the code for Gemini to create all the files, and then later I'll show you how you can install the extension into your Google Chrome browser. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so finally we got the result. Now we need to download these files that were created by Gemini into our computer. But unfortunately, there is no one-click button that let us download everything in one go. Unfortunately, so we have to do it manually, but don't worry, it is not difficult. So basically, we need to get these files. Now, depending on the extension that you're building, you could have seen different files. You could be maybe Gemini might be only creating 3 files, 4 files, 5, or maybe even just 2 files for the extension. It really depends on the extension that you are building. Now here I have 4 different files, and I guess I have to download every single one of them into my computer. Let's start with manifest file. Okay, so this is the file. So for me, personally, I'm going to be using Google Docs to download this. So I'm going to copy this Google Docs, and after that from Google Docs, I'm going to download that as a .txt or text file into my computer. So let me just open Google Docs. Okay, let's start a blank document. And okay, so basically here I'm going to just copy. Let's start from the manifest file. Let me just copy it. Oh, I guess I have to use a keyboard shortcut, Control A and then Control C on my keyboard, and then Control V. Now, don't forget about the name. So the name is very important. Here, for the manifest file, according to Gemini, I have to use this name, manifest.json. Let me just copy it, and let's put it here. So this is going to be a bit time-consuming because we have to do it manually. You can download as a plain text or .txt file. There you go, it has been downloaded. Now let's continue for the rest of the files. me just copy the second file, which is background. This is basically handling the logic of the extension. Let me just delete everything. Okay, now don't forget to use the name that was recommended by Gemini. If you're using a different name, then there's a good chance that the extension might break or not going to work. So it's very important to use the name that is basically the same as the one that was recommended by Gemini. Okay, let's continue with the other two. It is pop-up HTML. This is usually the interface of the extension, but it is not always necessary. So sometimes some extensions don't have an interface, and in this case it's actually not really mandatory to have an interface for this particular extension, but it's always nice to have this one. Anyway, let's rename that to popup.html. So click this file, download plain text again, and let's continue for the last file, which is popup.js. Let me just open popup logic. So let me just copy everything, delete, and then let's rename that file to popup.js. Yep, we are almost there. All right, there you go. So here I'm going to show you the Explorer on my computer. I have these 4 files. I guess I'm going to put it in on a folder. Let me just cut, and then let's create a new folder. Let's call this one a quick speak extension, and let's paste everything down here. Now we need to rename these files because right now they are in the .txt format, which is now the format that the extension or Google Chrome can recognize as a browser extension. So here on Windows 10, you can click View, and then you can enable file name extension. This is the feature that we need to use to be able to rename or change the format of these files. So I'm going to press F2, which is basically just rename. It's the same thing as doing this, and I'm going to remove .txt right here, and then hit enter. Just click yes. Let's do the same for the manifest file. I'm going to just speed up this process so we can start installing this extension into the browser. There you go. So we got these files. Now it's time to install this file in this extension into Google Chrome. So basically what you need to do is you have to open Google Chrome, and you can navigate to this menu, go to manage extensions, and then make sure that developer mode is enabled. Click load unpack, and then you can select the extension that the folder of the extension that you just created. Click select folder. Okay, there you go. There is no error, which is good. Now, let me try using that extension. So let me maybe use it on perhaps, maybe, I guess I'm going to open an article on Perplexity. All right, so maybe AI News today. I want to test this extension first. If it doesn't work, fortunately, we can always ask Gemini again to revise the code, and then we can put the new one that is the correct one that maybe fix the problem. Okay, so I'm going to maybe select something here. Let me just select this text, right click, and there is this new menu called speak selection. Oh, sorry about that. Let me just try that.
Major AI developments today center on massive investment deals and enterprise adoption, with OpenAI planning a fourth quarter 2026 IPO while Amazon explores investing up to $50 billion in the company.
Okay, it does work. Now, obviously, it is not the best text-to-speech voice that I have ever heard, but at least it proved the concept. You can create a Chrome extension using only Gemini AI. Now, if you have any problem with the extension, maybe there is an error and you need to fix it, you can tell Gemini about the error. You can specify maybe the error message or what's happening with the extension, and then ask it to create the full version of the extension again, and then you can repeat the process, replacing the old files that were incorrect, and then you can replace them with the new ones that are correct. So that's basically how you can correct the extension with Gemini AI, and also how you can generate a fully working Chrome extension with just prompting using Gemini AI. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. I wish you a great day ahead.